And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the World Boys Tournament 2018. Yes, we're heading into the bronze medal game. This is the battle for third place in the tournament, and it is between Alameda and San Diego. Both clubs obviously from the west coast of the USA and in different ends of California, if you like. Alameda, of course, up there near San Francisco on the Bayside, and San Diego down in the warmer areas towards the border with Mexico. We're about to get play underway here in this second game of our broadcasting day today, which is day 4 of the tournament, the final day. This game, of course, later this afternoon at about 3 p.m. Sydney time, will be followed by the gold medal game between Japan and Korea, the two powerhouses of this tournament. You're listening to the Summer of Baseball being broadcast by Sports Broadcasting Australia. I'm Paul Harradine, also known as Harrow, and I'm joined with Mackenzie Payton and also Big Cam Hickson, who will join us shortly in commentary. And the game has started. As you can see, the first 2 pitches of this game have gone through, and we'll bring you those lineups as we go. And of course, we've got San Diego and Alameda, and we'll bring you all of the details of the defensive lineups at the moment for the Alameda team. They're out there, and of course San Diego at the plate with Tyson Orzel leading off there, the number 10, and he's just swung off and fouled off a pitch there for San Diego. The defensive lineup for Alameda, starting from the outfield. In right field it is Corey Chikachi. In centre field, Shamil Youngblood. In left field it is Christian Artung, as Orzel goes down on strikes. So that's the first out. 1 up, 1 down for San Diego. 1 out. Shamil Youngblood in centre field. The left fielder is Christian Artung. At third base, it is Michael Shee. The shortstop for Alameda, Kiki Aguirre. And the second baseman, Mac Woodworth. At first base, Francisco Romero. And the starting battery for Alameda. Behind the plate, Derek Balayan. And on the mound, the number 10, Jack Dishinger. Now stepping in, Miguel Amador, the centre fielder for San Diego when they do take the field. Number 6 on his jersey there, Miguel Amador. Looks another pitch down. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Amador with 1 out here. Top of the first inning only as we got play underway right on high noon here at Blacktown International Sports Park in the west of Sydney. For those that have just tuned in, and he fouls one deep over the right-hand side.
Yeah, fouled off. This promises to be a real cracking game of baseball. These two teams have been really good so far this series, and both of them want to finish on a high. And I was having a chat to sort of both the managing staffs before this game, and they're both looking forward to a fun, friendly, and fast-paced baseball game.
Thanks, Cam. Big Cam Hickson bringing us that little piece of information. And another piece of useless information is both catchers in today's game. This game in front of us here, Derek Balayan for Alameda and Joseph Iglesias. Play here on the infield, goes to shortstop, across to first baseman. Does he make it? No, he doesn't beat it out. It's a 6-3 ground ball out. Well, hard hit ball by Amador. Gets straight across to Kiki Aguirre at shortstop though, and he frozen ropes that across to Francisco Romero at first base. They get a great ground ball to shortstop. 6-3 out. That is the second out on San Diego.
Great play by Aguirre. Had to range right behind second base and then come up firing as he threw, and managed to get Amador by half a step there at first base.
Mark Prince stepping in now. He takes a big swing and a miss at the first high fastball from Dishinger. Yes, a little bit of useless information that both catchers happen to be wearing the number 1 jersey this afternoon. It's unusual that you find 2 players wearing the same number jersey in the same position. I said it was useless information, didn't I?
It certainly was.
Just an oddity. So 2 out here for San Diego. Top of the first, Mark Prince at the plate, the number 21. So the count now on Prince is 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, we have the 4-man umpiring crew for this game. It is an important game for the bronze medal and third place. Foul tip on that one on a check swing from Prince. It's a case of the pitcher actually throwing the ball at the bat. Showing 1 ball, 2 strikes now, the umpire. With that one fouled off. So missing outside there is a Dishinger, the starting pitcher for Alameda. So now 2 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's the pitch missing outside. That will fill the count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2, full count now on Mark Prince, third batter in order for San Diego. Expecting a very good arm wrestle in this game here. And very important for both clubs. Across to Aguirre again at shortstop. Gets it across to his first baseman, Francisco Romero. And they get that all-important ground ball out. And San Diego go 3 up, 3 down with that ground ball to shortstop. Another 6-3 play. No score on the board halfway through the first innings here from Sydney, Australia. And stay tuned, we'll be back after this short break. And welcome back here to Blacktown International Sports Park for the bronze medal game of the 2018 World Boys Tournament here from Sydney, Australia. We go to the bottom of the first inning with Alameda coming to the plate with Christian Artung leading off. Number 24, left-handed hitter, takes a big swing and a miss on that first pitch. Now the defensive lineup for San Diego in the field. In right field, it's Declan Lynch. Next pitch comes through. And in centre field, Miguel Amador. The left fielder is Santiago Rangel. The third baseman is Sinjan Balbolia. At shortstop, it is Tyson Orzel. Second baseman is Mark Prince. Holding down first base, Christopher Gully. And the starting battery for San Diego. Behind the plate, Joseph Iglesias. And on the mound for San Diego, the number 27, Connor Bell. That's a very formidable lineup for both defensive teams here. And Artung at the plate now, the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the first inning only. You haven't missed much of the action if you've only just tuned in. Make sure you share this link that you're viewing this game on with all of your friends and family and any baseball supporters that you know. The more viewers, the merrier for all of these players. They deserve it. And as Artung goes down looking at the third strike. So KC for Christian Artung. And Alameda down with 1 batter. And coming to the plate, Michael Shee, second batter in the lineup.
Yeah, good start for Connor Bell on the mound for San Diego. Haven't seen a lot of Connor doing pitching during this series, so it probably has out on the outer diamonds, but on the main diamond we've seen him over at third base more often than not, but good start for him on the mound in this third place playoff, San Diego versus Alameda.
I'm sure it's going to be a real proper battle royal here between these two. The Battle of California almost. The northern half of California versus the southern half of California, without doubt. A very cool breeze blowing across the diamond today. Slow roller, bouncer, goes foul down the third base line, as you can see. And we can tell you that the chill is brought about by the wind coming off the land from over the mountains behind us. We understand there is actually snow falling about an hour and a half to our northwest. So behind us, if you like, and the wind is coming around the first base side of the grandstand. As we saw in the earlier game, a ball that was up in the sky looking like it was going to go well and truly foul into the dugout ended up a fair ball near first base. So very difficult for fielders on anything that goes up in the sky. Good for batters if they can lift something into the air and deep outfield. Michael Shee ready again for the next pitch. Gets a ground ball off to second base just on the outside edge. Mark Prince picks that one up and gets it across to Gully at first base. And now it's San Diego with 2 up and 2 down here in the field for Michael Shee being out on the 4-3 ground ball. Regulation play for the second baseman there. 2 up, 2 down. And of course this could be a quick turnaround of innings here. San Diego went 3 up, 3 down. Alameda now 2 up, 2 down. We go to the third batter in the lineup, the number 7, Kiki Aguirre. Aguirre, nothing interested in that one. It was way outside and down in the dirt. Good catching from Joseph Iglesias. Over there, quite a bit of work to do for the young catcher. Lifted into the right field side. It goes centre right, splits it. Laying out on that one is Declan Lynch. Fantastic catch. Declan Lynch lays out on that ball. That was hard to get. He knew he wasn't going to reach it on his feet, so he launched himself horizontally at that, laid out on it, and got it in the glove and held it up well and truly for the umpire to see. What a sensational out at this stage of the game.
Smiles on the faces of the San Diego boys as he comes back to the dugout. And lucky to keep his hat on his head with the amount of people giving him a pat on the back and a rub of the hair.
What great play to shut down that innings. So the first innings finishes with both sides going 3 up, 3 down. No score on the board, no hits, no runners left on, no nothing. 0-0 the scoreline after one completed inning here, and the players coming out to get ready for defence at the top of the second innings. We'll take a breather and be back in just a moment.
And back here at Blacktown International Sports Park, we're about to head into the top of the second innings in the third place playoff between San Diego and Alameda. We've got San Diego coming to the plate in the top part of the inning, and Dr. Singer doing the job on the mound. And you can see on your screens there the Twitter handle at Summer of Baseball. If you want to have a chat to us up here in the box, say hello, let us know whereabouts you're calling from, watching from. We'd love to give you a shout out, say hello, and we can give everybody a bit of a shout out. We've got Kiki Aguirre's older brother online again, so great to see he's tuned in again to see his brother going around. As Emmanuel Lopez tries to get things going for San Diego, but he won't. He'll get deceived on a couple of curveballs by Jack Deshinger, and he will go down on strike, swinging away at strike number 3 to Jack Deshinger.
These are two good teams. We watched them play last night, and both of them went hand in hand with the Japanese and the Koreans, and ended up being two good games.
That's exactly right. They held their own with two which are national teams. Don't forget, these are boys from a smallish city in California. Both of them from smallish cities in California, rather than a national team. If this was the American national under-15s team, you'd expect them to be dominating. As this one's chopped down the third base line to Michael Shee. Tough throw, good throw, and guns him out at first base. Does Michael Shee? Santiago Rangel there, the batter that chops it down the first third base line.
I think that this game, we're going to see a lot of good defensive plays. As we've already seen, we saw that catch in right field and, plays like that one. We're going to see a lot of good defensive plays.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Christopher Gully into the batter's box now for San Diego.
There's that outside pitch
that outside edge.
Everyone looks at, but they're going to call it a strike.
All tournament long, hasn't it? What are we into game? About 15 or 16 of the tournament, or actually it's a lot more than that because we had 3 on each diamond in game 1, so 9, and the same again day 2, 18, 20, 22, 23, 20 game 27 or 28 or somewhere along that line, and that outside corner has copped a pounding from the umpires. They will call it all day long. Deshinger goes to it again. Ooh. And I think it might have been low more so than outside. It looked like the catcher was just trying to bring it up and frame it a little bit up.
These pitchers, though, they know that and they're aware of it. So they're trying to get that outside pitch called.
1-2 pitch, he comes inside and again just misses downstairs. Not a bad place to be missing if you're Jack Deshinger. Not too much damage is going to get done when you miss the striker zone on the low side. Generally, it results in ground balls if the batters do happen to get bat on ball. Deshinger just taking his time, as is Christopher Gully steps out. And Chris Gully ready to go, Deshinger ready to go. 2-2 pitch on its way. It's grounded towards the first baseman, Romero. He has a little bit of trouble getting it. He'll need Deshinger's help. And Deshinger gets across there in cover to help Francisco Romero out there at first base. And they will get the third out on the 3-1 pitcher's cover. So no damage done. 6 retired in order by Alameda. So they've made a good start to this game defensively. 6 up, 6 down for them. They'll go into the dugouts and grab the sticks, and they will return in the bottom of the second to see if they can do any damage on the scoreboard against this San Diego team. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. We're joining you for the bottom of the second innings. It is the summer of baseball, bringing you all the action of the 2018 World Boys Tournament. We're at the pointy end of the tournament now. It is third versus fourth, but who is going to be third and who is going to be fourth? Alameda and San Diego to determine that one over 7 innings. First pitch is ripped by Francisco Romero into left field. One hopped to Santiago Rangel out there, and he will return it in. Romero has been very good for Alameda this entire tournament. Done a little bit of pitching, but it's been his power hitting that really has helped this Alameda team win a few games here and there.
And the number 4 in the lineup, Romero, does the job that he's there for. Rips one straight away, left field side, gets on base. First on base hit, first base hit for the game.
Yeah, first base runner for the game. 6 up, 6 down for San Diego. And Romero, the first player to buck that trend and get himself aboard. Now the very dangerous Shamil Youngblood has had a very good tournament. One of the outer diamonds against Fresno. Mackenzie was telling us he had a in-the-park home run. So that'll do his confidence no end. A good flares one up behind first base. He's going to blow way back into the field of play on this breeze and taken well into fair territory by Chris Gully, the first baseman. Good catch. Never easy when the ball is blustering around in these strong winds that we have out here at Blacktown today.
We did say early on that this breeze is blowing from that fence line towards the field. And as soon as that ball came off the bat, Youngblood stayed in the batter's box basically thinking, oh, it's gone foul. And then he saw the wind blowing it back and took off up the line.
Yeah, pretty much for the viewers blowing in, watching on the YouTube. The wind is blowing probably from the top right of your picture and blowing towards third base. So it's probably blowing from sort of the right field bullpens and it's heading across towards third base. So it's a very tough wind for the first baseman. And a very good wind if you're a right-hand pull hitter that wants to try and get it up on that breeze, put it into the alleyway and put it into the left field corner. That's the breeze for you.
Big swing and a miss on a slow down off-speed pitch from Derek Balayan there. Balayan, I should say. The number 1 on his jersey, Derek Balayan. That pitch from Connor Bell just floated towards the outside edge.
Yeah, Balayan trying to get things going. He falls behind 0-2 now to Connor Bell, who has made a really good start on the mound for San Diego. Runner at first is Francisco Romero. And there is one out here, bottom of the second. No score on the board. That's that outside corner. Just couldn't get it in. Nice little bit of framing by Joseph Iglesias. Just tried to roll his wrists and convince the umpire it caught the corner. But the umpire's having a great tournament here at the World Boys Tournament, having none of it at all. Bell reaches back, fires that one in. It's right in close to the knees of Balayan, but he's not concerned. He just stands his ground, watches it pass.
Didn't flinch.
Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He would have loved it to sort of clip the front of his thigh there, get a hit by pitch, get up there. This one's high and outside. Fills the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Bell looking quite accomplished on the mound. Balayan, the 6th hitter in the lineup here.
This one lined into right field. Nice piece of hitting that by Balayan. He's going to allow Romero to turn 2. Going to go to 3. It's close. He's dead. Absolutely toast at third base. Great throw by Declan Lynch, the right fielder. The ball was lined out there by Balayan, and Romero got a good jump. He was running on the pitch anyhow, so I presume maybe a hit and run put on. But Romero, not the fleetest of footers. He's a big boy for a 15-year-old, but he rounded second and put the head down, charged towards third, and a fantastic throw from right fielder Declan Lynch nailed him at 3.
He was called by the coach, but it just shows the strength of the young man's arm out there in right field. Lynch is having a sensational game through 2 innings here. Laid out for the important out in the bottom of the first inning and now gets that out at third base. What a massive arm the young man's got. So Balayan at first. And now in the box, the batter's box that is, Jack Dishinger.
Yeah, pitcher hitting for himself.
Good to see. 2 out. Runner at first base, bottom of the second inning only.
Shows bunt, which is an interesting thing with 2 on, and bunts it straight back to Connor Bell on the mound. Absolutely no problems for Bell. He scoops it up, flicks it across to Gully for the out, and bit of a wasted out that for Alameda. Dishinger goes down bunting on a 1-3 for the 3rd out here in the bottom of the second inning. They will leave one runner stranded out there on the bases, and no damage done through 2 complete innings. Alameda and San Diego, this is going to be an arm wrestle. It's 0-0 after 2. Back shortly.
And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park, Sydney, Australia, where you're watching the bronze medal game for the 2018 World Boys Tournament here in the western suburbs of Sydney, and a great ballpark facility out here for these young men to be playing in front of a very decent crowd. We go to the top of the third inning. San Diego come to the plate with their number 17 and right fielder Declan Lynch, who's been having a wonderful game in right field so far through 2 innings. No changes as yet. Jack Dishinger on the mound offers that first pitch to Lynch.
You almost expect Lynch to line one into a hole here somewhere, don't you, and get himself aboard after the start he's had already. A layout catch, a gunning down of a runner at third base. It's probably the longest throw you'll ever have on a baseball diamond. Maybe coming to the plate might be marginally longer, but from right field there's almost no longer throw on the diamond. He threw an absolute strike there.
And got the out. Lifts that one over the top of shortstop Kiki Aguirre and goes to centre field. Shamil Youngblood cleans that one up, but not until after it gets onto the ground, and Declan Lynch gets a single to centre field. Lifted it high enough over the top of shortstop Aguirre. And what a good start here as the lead-off hitter and number 7 in the order. Declan Lynch gets things going for San Diego. It's San Diego's first on-base runner for the game. This is the top of the third innings.
Yeah, broke the perfect game up for Jack Dishinger. He had 6 in a row, retired. Declan Lynch, of course it was Declan Lynch that got the base hit to break it up. Of course it was.
Joseph Iglesias steps in now for San Diego. Get his signs off his third base coach. Iglesias, a very good base runner as well. He's got a good set of wheels, the little guy. Pops one up though on a bunt, and he will be out.
Trouble at first.
Trouble at first. Did Lynch get back, Cam?
No, he didn't make it back in time. Always the problem when you ask for a bunt, because the runner is going, expecting that the ball is either put onto the ground in play or fouled off. And poor old Declan Lynch, he was left high and dry when that was popped up. He put the brakes on and tried to get back to first base, but a good catch by Dishinger, and then a 1-3 will get rid of Lynch for the second out. So they'll double it up, and they will get back on track. 8 up, 8 down.
Wow, what about that first out? Joseph Iglesias, second out, Declan Lynch, who did a great job to get at first base, but then caught out on that one. A pop-up bunt. Back to pitcher Jack Dishinger, who had a fair bit of work to do to get off the hill and get down to make that catch. Called off his catcher, Derek Balayan. Dishinger did a good job and then got it back up there for the second out. So the double Lynch up, and that brings us to the number 9 batter in the lineup for San Diego, Sinjin Balbolia.
Harry, I think we were talking last night about the fact that you don't see a lot of games won when you get 0 hits on the board. Well, it's only taken less than 24 hours for that to turn around. Pops up in foul territory. That one's going to drop in front of Francisco Romero. But I can tell you, in the minor leagues in America, the Clearwater Threshers have beaten the Tampa Tarpons, by the looks of it, Little Turtles. They've beaten them 1-0, and they didn't have a hit for the game. They were 1 run on 0 hits and 0 errors versus no runs on 3 hits and 1 error.
And they get a run. Absolutely amazing.
And they get a win.
Well, I can tell you where Clearwater is, Cam. I'm wearing a shirt and a cap at the moment that belongs to Lemon Bay Baseball. Lemon Bay is the high school at Englewood in Florida. The next suburb across is Clearwater. And the Tampa Rays actually have a minor league ground at Clearwater.
There you go.
A fantastic facility as well. It was being rebuilt while I was over there about 6 years ago.
This one hit hard into the 5-6 gap. Well fielded by Aguirre, but he'll have no throw.
Aguirre had to go deep into the hole there to cut that one off as well. Good running, good coverage. At least he cut it off. But Balbolia stands safely at first base, and we go back to the top of the order through Tyson Orzel.
And that missed bunt now from Iglesias is a big error to make in the scheme of this ball game. If he gets that bunt on the ground, Declan Lynch stands at second base without any dramas, and that hit from Balboa deep into the 5-6 hole, Balbolia would have at least advanced the run around to third base. With 2 out runners going, this ball's going to drop fair. It's going to blow in on the wind, and it does drop fair just inside the line down the right field line, and that'll be a base hit now for Orzel, and it will advance Balbolia around to third.
Wow, what about that for a game changer? And this is the third runner they've had on base, Tyson Orzel out there. And they did have Declan Lynch on base and then put out on a play on a pop-up bunt. And Balbolia around to third base now. Gets moved all the way around on that with 2 out. He just kept running, so he stands safely at third. And now it is San Diego with runners on the corners. And stepping in, Miguel Amador. The number 6, Miguel Amador. Next pitch comes in, outside, runner goes on that wild pitch, loose behind home plate. Catcher Balayan couldn't cut that one off, and the runner charges in. Sinjin Balbolia. It didn't go far back behind home plate. High risk play from coach's point of view at third base, but he sent the runner, and Balbolia made the best of it with a good set of wheels. And San Diego go ahead of Alameda by 1-0. We're in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, just a little bit of a lack of urgency shown by Derek Balayan behind the plate, and as you said, it only got back to the back of what you'd call the catcher's box behind the umpire, but Balayan took forever to find it, pick it up, and that was all the invitation Balbolia needed. He was going the moment it got through, and he scores the opening run of the game.
Amador pops one up high, will blow back in front of the grandstand here and caught by catcher Balayan just behind home plate. So foul fly ball off Miguel Amador for position 2, and that brings up the third out. Shuts down this attack from San Diego. They leave a runner stranded at second base in the form of Tyson Orzel, but not until after they've scored the go-ahead run in this game. San Diego lead Alameda by 1-0. And welcome back to the action here. Bottom of the third inning, Alameda come to the plate with Corey Chikachi. The number 25, Chikachi steps in there now. And just trying to pick up umpire signals there. It looks like he puts both hands up, but I can't define fingers from fingers. It looks like one strike is up there on the scoreboard. That next pitch misses outside. Fast ball from Connor Bell. It looks like 1 ball, 1 strike. Okay, so the first pitch was definitely a strike, 1-1. Another called strike as he paints the edge there, does Connor Bell. Well located by catcher Joseph Iglesias. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bell, the pitcher, in front here in the count over Chikachi. And he rings him up. He looked at that one, just froze him. Got the bottom corner of the strike zone. Well pitched by Connor Bell. Chikachi goes back to the dugout on a caught-looking strikeout. So 1 up and a 1 down. That brings to the plate the 9th batter for Alameda, Mac Woodworth. Time called by catcher and third baseman. They go and have a chat with Bell. They've obviously got some mail on Woodworth. They may have conjured up something for the number 2 now. Woodworth steps in. Second baseman for Alameda to face his first pitch of the game from Connor Bell. And nicely located again. Paints the outside edge of the plate very nicely. 0-1 the count. Woodworth settles again. Comes inside on the hands, and Woodworth fouls it off into the first base side of the grandstand. So Woodworth settles in, waiting for this next pitch. He's been outside, he's been inside. Where does he go this time? 0-2 pitch. and gets him swinging. No contact with the ball. Woodworth goes back on a big swinging strikeout. 2 up, 2 down for Alameda here. We're in the bottom of the third inning. We go back to the top of the lineup through Christian Artung. Very windy day out there. We've mentioned it earlier. It's not only windy, but it's very cold wind. And any batter gets a ball up into the sky, it could go very deep. Artung waits on Bell, throws outside on the left-handed batter.
You have to know that some of these boys are cold out there in short sleeves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they're all, we see them jumping up and down, and they're trying to stay warm.
Doesn't always look so bad,
No.
but, some of them maybe should have an undershirt on just to keep themselves that little bit warmer. No doubt the ones in here where the action is, they're probably a little bit warm and not thinking about the temperature at all. But if you're an outfielder, certainly going to have some sort of an effect on you.
Yes.
So Artung still at the plate there, being very patient. A very good at-bat thus far. 2-1 the count. 2-1 pitch coming from Bell. Christian Artung waits again, and that one high and wide outside on the left-hander.
Now we also start to see a little bit of the effects of the sun. You see the shadow is starting to cast over home plate.
We were talking about that through yesterday as we go to 12:30 in the afternoon here. So that's, between now and during the next hour, the sun will certainly be over the middle of the ground. Full count pitch coming. 2 out here, bottom of the third inning. And draws a walk. Very patient at bat by a young Christian Artung. Draws the walk, base on balls. First walk issued by Alameda. Sorry, by San Diego, I should say. It's Alameda that get on base with the walk. First walk of the game. So runner on base. Brings to the plate second batter in the lineup for Alameda, Michael Shee.
You can just hear the wind whipping through, even here where we're sitting up in the cover.
We're up high. We have a sliding door here that's just continuously banging against the wall. There's nothing we can do about that. Michael Shee's been a pretty handy player throughout this tournament. Paper plane floating up above home plate. And thrower from catcher to second base. He's got him cold.
Ooh.
Sliding into second base there was Christian Artung. The steal was put on, and he will become the third out. Michael Shee will return to the plate at the next appearance in the bottom of the fourth innings. He was not out. He was still at the plate, although he did have a full count on him. I don't know what would have happened there. So I didn't see the call from the plate umpire, but certainly the field umpire issued the out on a sliding Christian Artung on the throw over from Joseph Iglesias. Well done, catcher. 3 up, 3 down at the end of play there for Alameda. No score on the board. It is Alameda trailing San Diego by 1-0. Welcome back to the action here on Diamond number 1 at Blacktown International Sports Park, the home of the Sydney Blue Sox Australian Baseball League Club. And we go to the top of the fourth inning with San Diego coming to the plate with number 21, Mark Prince, their second baseman. And he will be facing the pitching of Jack Dishinger, who remains on the mound for Alameda. Started this game well, the number 10. Very low pitch count. We're only through 3 innings already, 35 minutes of play. And here we are. That gets lifted in straight away centre field. Going back is Youngblood. He will not get to it. The wind has caught it. It's gone to the warning track. It's halfway across the warning track. And it is Prince that turns the corner at second hard. Slides safely into third base. It's a triple to straight away centre field for Mark Prince. A massive hit. And basically what he did was lift it high into the sky, and it blew straight over the top of Shamil Youngblood's head. There's nothing the player in the outfield could do about that. I talked about it earlier. If a batter can get a ball up there high enough, it's just going to be pushed out there by this very, very strong wind.
Yes, yesterday or the day before, that ball wouldn't have carried that far. But today with this wind, it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, the last 3 days, you're right, Mackenzie, that would have just simply been an outfield catch.
Yeah.
So next into the box is Emmanuel Lopez, the designated hitter for San Diego. So let's see if the DH can do his job. Dishinger is certainly doing his job on the mound. He's working very hard there with his catcher, Derek Balayan. Runner at third base, none out here because he's the leadoff for San Diego. So the batters behind him just need to get a ball through the infield. That one fouled off over the back of the grandstand by Lopez.
Quick shout out to Betterton, who's back from Hawaii. He's been in Hawaii watching the tournament. He's back home in San Diego now watching Connor Bell.
Good for some.
And Connor Bell up on the mound for San Diego, doing a good job thus far, holding Alameda to nothing through 3 innings.
It's a good game of baseball, this one. Top of the 4th inning already. And no changes to these sides. It's going to be a good arm wrestle right through to the end of the game, I'm sure. So Lopez patiently waits this next pitch from Jack Dishinger. Swing and a miss on that one, and he goes back to the dugout on strikes, does Lopez. K2, and Dishinger just threw one high into the zone. Took a bit of speed off it to get the timing of Lopez all mixed up. And back he goes. A 1 out now with the runner at third base. And San Diego needs Santiago Rangel, the number 30, stepping in now to do a job. Just something through the infield will score them a run.
Big out that for Alameda to get one at the plate when there's a runner at third. Infield in, trying to not allow this runner at third base to score. You can see on your screen shortstop and second base in on the grass, third base in on the grass. First base just hanging back a little bit. Francisco Romero.
I get the feeling Rangel won't bunt. They'll let him hit away. He's a big, strong batter, good, strong runner.
Even still, you take your chances on the infield because if you can get that ball in your glove, you will definitely stop the runner at the home plate.
So pitch inside across the knees. Outside the strike zone on the inside there on the number 30, Santiago Rangel. So we've got a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch as Dishinger looks at the third baseman. Yeah, nice curve on that one. Drops it into the zone. Rangel not interested. Just takes that for a strike.
Another shout out to the Youngblood family tuned in. Seeing a Shamil battle against the strong Blacktown Winds.
He's had a good tournament.
It's going to stay foul, but not by a long way. It came back into the dugout. Looked like it was going out over the grandstand there at one stage.
That is howling, that
and
one.
Actually landed in the San Diego dugout.
We look at the trees on the third base side of the grandstand. They are leaning over.
Good Australian slang. It's blowing hard enough to blow a brown dog off a chain.
Yeah, gets him again on the curveball. Santiago Rangel just looking at that one. He thought it was just staying inside, but it didn't. It broke straight down the back of the strike zone. Good call by the plate umpire there, and he goes down looking, Rangel. A KC, so 2 out now. Runner still stranded there at third base.
What a comeback from Jack Dishinger. Gives up a triple to start things off on a blast out to centre field, and then comes back K2 KC and gets a pop-up here that if it stays in, the wind's going to make it a tough play for Shee. But he'll take the catch in foul territory. That's a good catch and a massive bullet dodge there by Alameda. They give up a lead-off triple, and the run will get stranded out there.
Wowee, you'd almost put money on that run scoring, no doubt, with nobody out and a runner at third base.
One ball on the ground somewhere into play, and you probably get that run across the plate, but not to be.
Not this time. They haven't added to their tally. At this point, which is halfway through the fourth innings in this game, San Diego lead Alameda by 1-0.
Welcome back to Blacktown for the 2018 Boys World Youth Championships. The Boys Championships here from Blacktown International Sports Park in the west of Sydney. Beautiful sunny Tuesday afternoon, although it is a little bit chilly with this breeze blowing sort of up from our mountain region, our snowy mountain region, bringing with it all the cold air. Michael Shee in the batter's box for Alameda here in the bottom of the fourth. They trail 1-0 over San Diego. San Diego looking to secure third place here in the tournament. Michael Shee now with a count of 3 straight balls on him, looking to progress to first on the base on balls. There's a lead-off walk, and he will as that pitch is low and inside. So Michael Shee walks to first base. And Alameda with a chance now to maybe manufacture a run here in the bottom of the fourth. Try and work Michael Smith around. Kiki Aguirre. He will head to the plate. Be interesting to see. He flied out to right field. He was that fantastic catch from Declan Lynch in the first inning. It reads in the book a fly out to 9, but it was a well-hit ball, and it was an even better catch from Declan Lynch. Aguirre allows that one to pass for a called strike. Interesting to see whether they put Shee into motion here. Pick-off attempt. Shee diving back in, safe underneath the throw. Connor Bell doing well on the mound so far for San Diego. Hopefully this curse. He's doing all right so far. And just a half-hearted throw over to make sure that Michael Shee doesn't take that extra step. Buy himself a little bit more time. Make the coaches go through their signals again. Now Connor Bell looks ready to come to the plate. He does. Misses outside. Iglesias has a think about a snap throw up to first. Thinks the better of it. Decides to keep the ball in the pocket. Send it back to Connor Bell. And we will go with a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. 1-1 pitch, runner goes. It is slapped towards first base. Going to be a tough play. Going to need pitcher's cover. No, he's not. Gully's going to be able to do it all himself. He will get the put out, and he will run it back to first base himself for the first out. Shee will advance. He was running on the pitch, so may have been a hit and run put on, or it might have just been once Michael Shee broke towards second base, Kiki Aguirre thought, I better do a little bit of cover for him and just try and get the ball into play, or at least swing past it and make it very tough on Iglesias to make a throw. So Aguirre out, Shee to second, now runner in scoring position for the very dangerous Francisco Romero.
Yeah, so the job done. Well, ripped down the third base side, only to see it go foul by about 2 yards from Romero.
He can hit the ball and hit it hard. And I think Iglesias is going to go out and have a quick chat to Connor Bell about the danger that Romero possesses. Might be stay away from that inside edge, Connor.
Put Iglesias beside Romero. Romero would be double his physical size.
He's got probably about 6 to 8 inches in height and probably double the weight. But he's a solidly built boy, Francisco Romero. Don't kid yourself. He is built like a brick, proverbial.
Fence.
Next pitch from Connor Bell, slapped down the third base line, foul again from Romero. So 2 in a row he's tried to pull. Almost, if I was managing the San Diego team, I would almost shift on Francisco Romero a little bit. Bring my shortstop around into the hole a little bit. Maybe pop my second base on the other side of second base.
Keep it tight. Throw inside.
Actually, with a runner on second, I might even place second base directly behind the bag, and that gives Connor Bell an option to throw around with a pick-off, as well as maybe get Romero. Good block from Iglesias. Chance at third. A great play from Joseph Iglesias behind the plate.
He wanted the out then too.
He blocked it down, and the runner was about to go. Michael Shea had just about decided to take off for third, but Iglesias did a great job of blocking it into the left-handed batter's box and then being able to go after it. And once he went after it, Michael Shea was in two minds, decided to retreat to second. Iglesias decided to hang on to it as Connor Bell wheels around, threatens to throw to second, but doesn't.
They don't want to throw against that arm. Pocket rocket Iglesias, he can throw.
So Romero, 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 1 out and a runner at second. Alameda trails behind. This one gets away from Iglesias. It just snuck underneath his glove. And that will be all the invitation she needs to take third base. So he heads up to third now with Romero in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes and 1 out. San Diego did not need that to happen on that particular pitch. Just purely and simply now, Romero can just fly one up into the outfield, and that should be good enough to tie this ball game at 1. Doesn't need to ground it in. He's going to roll it through the 5-6 hole. That one had eyes. There were people diving all over it. Balbolia or Zell, they were all after it. Neither of them could come up with it, but it wasn't going to matter. Moving on contact with Shea. He scores. Romero will get the single to left field and the RBI. So his second single of the afternoon so far. He's been on fire. He is the offensive threat for Alameda, and they draw level. 1-1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Certainly do, and now Shamil Youngblood steps in. And Youngblood, he has got a set of wheels once he can get on base. Romero at first.
You feel a bit sorry for Francisco Romero because I'll tell you what, if Shamil belts one into one of the corners of the park,
he's going to have to run, isn't
Francisco's going to have to put his head down and find another gear.
He'll have to get away from Youngblood to stay in front of him.
Because you know that
he was not very happy with that call right there.
Yeah,
well,
that was that outside pitch.
I think you identified the curveball early and just sort of gave up on it early, and as you say, disappointed with himself that it dropped in for a strike. Low and outside, that's good discipline. 0-2, you so often get that swung on.
Yeah, after the strike that just got called on him, that was just a little bit further outside about the width of the baseball.
Yeah, great decisions from Connor Bell and Joseph Iglesias to go to that pitch. They almost drew the swing from Youngblood. Good patient discipline at bat. That one misses upstairs.
Oh.
That's good discipline. And Bell trying a little bit of everything, and the San Diego manager going to come out and have a quick chat.
Yeah, they just want to try and get this out. They know it's danger time. They've drawn level. They want to try and keep this door closed on Alameda. Alameda are confident at the moment with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Dale Lewis, the manager, heading out there for a chat. He was the gentleman.
Might be his brother Dave.
It could be Dave too. And I was having a chat to Dave and Bill McClurg before the game.
Always interesting talking to travelling coaches.
They love all things Blue Sox here from Sydney, and they are trying to get their hands on some Blue Sox merchandise.
I'm sure they
to take back to San Diego with them.
They just plain love all things baseball.
I've got a beautiful Blue Sox jacket that I'm not too keen to part with, but we'll see how we go. Youngblood ready to go again. This one hits the plate, goes clear over Iglesias on the hop, and that will allow Romero to get a little bit of breathing space between him and Youngblood. He heads up to second base. Unfortunately, that has to be scored a wild pitch because it landed on home plate.
Yep.
Nothing Iglesias could do about that. It hit the front corner of home plate and just went flying over the back. Now Youngblood with a full count. One away, runner at second base. Scores locked at 1. Romero goes to third, fouled off by Youngblood. That was ambitious.
Certainly was. Coach called him.
Interesting call from Alameda's coaching staff there to put Romero in motion. I can somewhat understand it if there had been 2 out to put him in motion on the full count. Force not inactive. There's nobody behind Romero. Let's see if they send him again here. No, he holds this time. This is high and inside. Youngblood, a good, disciplined, patient at bat. Gets himself a base on balls after being down 0-2. He fights, digs, fights off a couple of good pitches from Connor Bell, gets himself up there to first base. And that's a good at-bat from the young man.
Derek Balayan steps in. The number 1 on his shirt. And he went opposite field for the right-hander, a single to right field in his first appearance earlier, just 2 innings ago.
The force back on now, though, for San Diego. So now they can try to turn a double play up the middle or through the corners. First pitch from Connor Bell just misses down low on Balayan. Interesting to see the first base playing slightly in, third base playing slightly in. This one lined into centre field. This will be a base hit. Getting around on it, Amador. He'll come up firing, and that'll be enough to hold the runners. So good play from Amador to get around there and be able to cut it off as quickly as he could. Miguel Amador was scooting around the moment that was hit. So he gets around and cuts it down to a single. Romero gets held at third. Youngblood held at second. The bases are loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Is this the turning point in this ball game? We're halfway through the ball game. It's a 7-inning game. Is this going to be the point where it tips one way or the other?
Only 1 out, and Jack Dishinger steps in. It's all there in front of him. Everything loaded up for Dishinger with only 1 out.
Now, Dishinger bunted with 2 outs last time, which was a strange play. He is the pitcher, but he should still be slapping at this ball, and I'm surprised San Diego are playing their infield at double play depth and not coming a little bit shallow. He slaps it straight at second base. Double play opportunity to the shortstop, to the first base. They'll turn a double play and dodge a bullet.
Wow.
A massive bullet dodge there by the San Diego infield, and a good play in hindsight from the management to leave them back at double play depth and go for the standard 4 to 6 to 3 double play rather than bring them in and look for a double play through home plate. So a great piece of managing, a good piece of pitching from Connor Bell to get the ground ball, and then it was Prince to Orzel to Gully to turn the double play that gets San Diego out of a deep, deep hole, and it will lock this game at 1-1 after 4 completed innings.
And welcome back to the action here. We head to the top of the 5th inning. San Diego playing Alameda for the right to carry the bronze medal from the 2018 World Baseball Boys Tournament here from Sydney, Australia. Top of the 5th innings. The scores are locked at 1-1, San Diego and Alameda for those that have just tuned in. Stepping in to lead off for San Diego in this top of the 5th is the number 17, Declan Lynch, also the right fielder. And he's stepping in for his second plate appearance only of the afternoon. Top of 5, he got a single to centre field in his first appearance. and in the first 2 innings got 2 sensational outs.
Can he get something going for San Diego here in the 5th? All the momentum sits in their dugout after getting away from that inning with loaded bases and only 1 out. They turn a double and they get out of trouble. So the momentum swings back towards them. Let's see what they can do with it now that they've got it.
Certainly does. It's been a wonderful game of baseball thus far. We've got 3 innings left to play. It's a 7-inning game. Jack Dishinger on the mound there, pitching to Derek Balayan at catcher for Alameda. The infield, for those that have just tuned in, first base Francisco Romero, second base Mac Woodworth, shortstop Kiki Aguirre, and at third base Michael Shee.
This will fall in.
Bat to ball on the right side.
The wind tried everything to push that back into the field.
Just goes foul off the bat of Declan Lynch.
Maybe that the wind has just dropped off a fraction at the moment. It's not blowing nearly as hard as it was probably 10 minutes ago. It was probably the difference between that one finding fair territory and foul territory.
He certainly made good hard contact with it. You could hear it come off the bat. So Lynch steps back in, awaiting the next pitch. Nicely located and rings him up. He knew he was gone. He just walked out of the box on a KC. Declan Lynch falls to a nice curveball from Jack Deshinger, and a KC registered there for the first out. 1 up, 1 down in the top of the 5th inning, San Diego, and that brings to the plate their catcher, Joseph Iglesias.
Nothing you can do as a hitter when you've been frozen by a pitch and you think, I'm not swinging at that, and then you see it break or change or move and you think, oh no, please miss.
Yep.
And then you hear the dreaded call from behind, strike 3, and you just wander back to the dugout.
It dropped in nicely through the zone.
You almost have to wonder, too, this wind is, it's blowing through here. Do you think that it's affecting these pitches?
Absolutely
Yes.
it is.
Yep.
Absolutely it is.
Definitely having a difference to the whole game here. It affects both teams, though, and all players in the game. Swing and a miss. Squares the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike on Iglesias. Next one. Fouls it off direct.
It alters the breaking pitches. The amount of wind and the amount of rotation that the pitchers can get on the baseball. It's the seams that grip the wind that makes the ball move. Similar to the dimples on a golf ball.
Yeah.
That's what, the rotation of them is what decide as to where it goes. So, yeah, the stronger the wind and the direction as Iglesias pops this one up into foul territory, first base side. Wind gets hold of it again. Tough play for Romero, but he won't get it. It'll just evade him down that first base side. Again, that wind just turning that ball around. So the pitchers do have to adjust to that when they want to throw breaking pitches, curveballs, sliders. They've got to take that wind into consideration and work on that a little bit as well.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the Japanese and the Koreans adjust to that, because we already know that they have a lot of spin on there.
A very strong breeze like this can ruin some of the Japanese pitches. The Koreans not so much because they tend to be more sidearm.
Ground ball, shortstop, Aguirre across to first baseman Romero. They get the out on the regulation ground ball to shortstop. 6-3 out on Joseph Iglesias. And a good out it is. 2 up, 2 down now for San Diego, top of the 5th inning. No runners on, no addition to the scoreboard. We go to the 9th batter in their lineup. 3rd batter for the top of the 5th inning, Sinjin Balbolia.
And just to finish that point, the Japanese much more regimented with their pitching and their structure. So I think the breeze will affect their pitches a little bit more than it will the Koreans. But we will see at 3 o'clock whether this wind is still howling. I believe it will be. And as I said, it'll be a great game, the Koreans and the Japanese. Join us at 3 o'clock for all that action.
Absolutely. And if we look at the Japanese batting yesterday, we know in the 6th inning they put down 6 runs off a short game. They just bunt. And depending on conditions, depending on the situation, they'll do what they've got to do to move runners around and get them into scoring position.
Bunt, steal, repeat.
They execute that so well.
That was the Japanese mantra in the game that they played against Alameda. This has popped up. This will get close to fair territory. Romero trying hard. It'll end up falling more to Balayan, and he won't get it. Yep. It'll land right on the tram line mark. So that's how far away it was from being a fair hit.
And Balayan's not very happy with himself. The problem with that ball is it goes up above the grandstand, and then the wind changes, then it comes off the roof and blows it back in towards the field yet again. And he had it covered halfway between the dugout and the line, and he had to go back another 3-4 yards to try and get to the ball once the wind got it.
Very tough on those as a catcher because first you've got to sight them, get that mask off quickly, get your eyes to the sky, spot it, and then you've got to realise it will always head back to the field.
Well, that one's lifted into centre field. Youngblood underneath it easily jogs in and takes a wonderful catch off the bat of Balbolia. Fly ball to centre field, and Shamil Youngblood out there makes no doubt about that. Gets a catch, and he was always going to catch it. San Diego, top of the 5th inning, go 3 up, 3 down. Cannot add to the scoreboard in any shape or form. And halfway through 5, the scoreline remains 1-1. We'll be back in just a moment after a few words. And welcome back here to the action. Bottom of the 5th inning, Alameda coming to the plate against
Prophet.
San Diego. And the batter stepping in, number 16, Michael Prophet, enters the game for Corey Chikachi. So Michael Prophet comes in there with that number 16 jersey on.
And I imagine that'll be a bit of a swap around because Chikachi playing out at right field. Line drive here to second baseman. Mark Prince.
Ground ball, 4-3 play. They get the out at first base. Mark Prince to Christopher Gully. And that is the first out here. The lead off Michael Prophet down on that ground ball to second base. So 4-3, 1 up or 1 down for Alameda here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This game locked in at a 1-1 scoreline. And that will bring to the plate a Mac Woodworth.
Yes, it does.
He lays down a bunt, hustles up the line. Will he make it to first base?
Nope.
Will they throw him out? Yes, they will. And it's the number 5 at first base now. It's not Christopher Gully anymore. Number 5 up there at first base. We'll bring you that in just a moment. Mac Woodworth out on, I think that was retrieved by Connor Bell, was it not?
Pitcher, yep.
Pitcher, so 1-3 for that out. 2 up, 2 down.
Stephen Lancier going to first base. Should have noticed by the hair.
Yep. So Stephen Lancier on the end of those outs. So the first out was a 4-3, Prince to Lancier, and the second out was a 1-3, Bell to Lancier at first base.
You have to be impressed by the defense of both of these teams. They aren't letting anybody get by. I don't think we've had very many errors at all, and
No,
they just came to play today.
I've got a very unofficial score sheet, but I've got no errors at all. I don't think they scored through this stage of the game. No.
Good game of baseball. Christian Artung at the plate. The number 24, left-handed hitter in there again.
Also had a change at second base. Harrow, I can tell you that it's Shea Larrabee out there at second base, not Mark Prince, and that would have been Larrabee that made that first play on Michael Prophet to get rid of him.
Okay, so
just running around the entire field with the binoculars.
The third out on Christian Artung.
That's going to stop me doing that in a hurry.
So Christian Artung out, and at the plate, that is 3 up, 3 down for Alameda. Again, no change in the scoreboard after 5 completed innings here from Blacktown in Sydney's West. It is 1 run to San Diego, 1 run Alameda.
If you want to send us a tweet, we'd love to hear from you. Linda Woodworth, she's tuned in to see how Mac handle on theirs at Summer of Baseball. We're just having a few issues. The wind playing with a little bit of technology, so occasionally the cameras might drop out or the stream might drop out. Just refresh it and we'll be right to go. But at Summer of Baseball, if you want to chat to us, we'd love to send you a little bit of a shout out to see how you're doing and how things are going over there on a Monday evening in the States. If you're watching this one between Alameda and San Diego. Back with the 6 shortly.
As we come back to the game here at Blacktown, changes for the Alameda defensive lineup, and we come back for the top of the 6th innings. We are also at the top of the order, and it is the lead-off for San Diego, Tyson Orzel. Sorry, it's not. There's a change there in the batter's box as well. It is 0-0. Hector Milan leading off now. Hector Milan replacing Orzel. Lots of changes as we suspected. All the players will get through.
The last fielding dig to Harrow. Didn't get that far in. Lot has gone onto the mound.
Yep, the number 7 is up there now. Jack Dishinger relieved of the pitching duties.
I think that pitch just went behind.
Yeah, behind the batter. Yep, absolutely behind the batter. Just a lack of control there from Aguirre.
Francisco Romero has gone from first base across the diamond to third base, the opposite corner. Ground ball to shortstop now, leaves it behind, and Milan gets safely at first base.
And that's the number 9 for Alameda, which I believe from my program, I think the 9 was Michael Shea, isn't it?
It was, yes. He's moved from third base to shortstop.
Yeah, I thought number 9 was Michael Shea.
Yeah.
So he had there.
So foul tip there from the number 51 in the batter's box now, replacing Miguel Amador is the number 51 for San Diego.
51 is, as my thing's upside down, is Gracia, Louis Gracia.
So Louis Gracia in there now on that number 51 jersey, and second batter in order. So runner at first base, Hector Milan with a single to shortstop, hard hit ball. And left-hander Gracia steps in there to see if he can move him around into scoring position. Takes a swing and a miss. The ball gets behind the catcher. And must have been a little bit of bat on that. Bit of a foul tip. Runner goes back to first. So big changes. No, we're trying to pick them all up, especially if there's some in the outfield. We think they're possibly okay.
So the infield at the moment running for Alameda. Francisco Romero at third, Michael Shea at shortstop. Mac Woodworth is the second baseman. Ryan Buckaroo is at first base. And Derek Balalian, I believe, is still behind the plate. I will check that. Yep, that's correct. So that's your infield with Kiki Aguirre on the mound.
And Michael Prophet did come into bat for Corey Chikachi, so he may well be in right field.
No, he's not.
Number 16, he's not there.
No, 25 is out
That's
there.
still Corey
So that's Corey
Chikachi.
Chikachi.
Okay. Must have been pinch hitting. Change now with batter again. Mark Prince out of that lineup, and that is the number 2 in there.
So no change to the outfield. The outfielders remain the same. Christian Artung, Youngblood. And this one's going to get away. He's going to get very, very lucky, Ryan Shimabakaru. Because that one sort of got through him, but it only got held up on first base. It was sitting there, so once he got around and found out where it was, all he had to do was pick it up for the out.
I think that was Emmanuel Lopez at the plate. It was 16, was it not?
That was...
Instead of Mark Prince, it was number 16.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. And that was
We
Miguel
have
Lopez.
a new batter, number 27.
Emmanuel Lopez, I should say.
So we've got another new batter coming in here now for San Diego.
Yeah, they're all rolling in, getting their time.
.27 for San Diego is Connor Bell. So he's going to come and hit after having a DH in for him early.
Okay. That was Emmanuel Lopez. Hang on, what have I done here?
He should have a runner on in the form of Milan. He should be at second base.
I thought number 6 was the last batter, but 16, but he obviously wasn't. Lopez was already in the game at DH. So we've got Connor Bell batting in this slot. I'm confused, Cam. Can anybody tell? Well, 27. He lifts that to deep left field. It falls fair and rolls
Look
to
out
the
in this
deep
corner.
left side corner. Milan crosses the plate. Wow, Hector Milan, the leadoff, who was at second base, turns the corner and scores the go-ahead run for San Diego.
An RBI double for Connor Bell to left field. And a 2-out double at that to score that run. That's a massive piece of hitting there by Connor Bell.
Okay, wow. Number 28 in there now.
Another change, that is Inzunza. Anthony Inzunza. Coming in for Santiago Rangel.
Okay. So this mixes it up. They can all bat. They can all hit.
And we do have re-entry rules here in the boys tournament, so it's not uncommon to see somebody subbed out at this stage and then come back a little bit later.
So there's 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. 1 run scored across the plate. Runner in scoring position at second base is Connor Bell. Anthony Nzunza stands in the batter's box at the moment, the number 28.
It looks like he tried to get that one to curve back over the plate. It just...
The wind kept it up.
Just outside, yeah.
Yep, the wind kept it out there, I think. So San Diego trying to open up a gap in this game. Off to shortstop, a ground ball to position 6 across there. Michael Shee feeds it across to his first baseman, but all too late. The runner get there. Anthony Inzunza beats it out up to the first base line. Wow, what play. They move the runner around. Connor Bell now stands at third base, right on the corner, ready to go. Inzunza at first base. So runners on the corners for San Diego with 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. They're trying to get ahead. They are ahead, in fact, and they're trying to build a bit of a buffer right now. Stephen Lancia will be in the batter's box.
Yeah, he came in the fielding dig.
Number 5, there he is. Pops it up over the right field side. Does it get clear or does it not?
Can't see it. He lost it. Sakachi out there in right field. He put his hands up, so I don't know where it is. He totally lost that in the sun. And he apologised to his teammates. He just said, I don't know where it is. It's going to cost Alameda a run.
So Connor Bell it is that crosses from third base. Inzunza stands at third now. And still runners on the corners. Lancia stands at first with a single to the right field side.
Another change now. Declan Lynch out of the game. Jacob Christian in for him. Trying to keep abreast of all these changes. There is a lot of them as Christian just taps one foul down the first base side.
Well, I think the whole lineup has been changed now, even with Connor Bell coming into bat.
Pretty much. So we'll just have to keep an eye on where they all go in the field. We'll try and do the same. As I said, we managed to catch the Alameda fielding changes.
They'll all be out there somewhere.
Correct, and it'll be a case of working it out when they get in the field. Pick-off attempt at first base, not in time. Back Lancia comfortably there at first. A big inning this one for San Diego. 2 runs crossing the plate.
Opportunity knocks. There are 2 out. Can it be defended by Alameda? Oh, wild pitch at home plate. That will score another run for San Diego. That's Anthony Inzunza sliding across there for their 3rd run in this top of the 6th inning.
It's amazing how the 6th inning happens to be the breakout innings in these ball games. They are so tight. All last night we saw the games. The 6th inning happened to be the crucial inning. Again, here in this one in front of us, it looks like the 6th inning is going to be the crucial inning.
Yep, top half though, so Alameda have a chance to come back with the bats in the bottom half.
All on the back of pitching changes.
Yes.
We see Deshinga come out of the game. We see Aguirre come in. Not saying Aguirre's pitched poorly. It just happens to be on the back of a pitching change and a number of fielding changes.
Yep.
All of a sudden, the dynamic of the team changes, and San Diego are able to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Makes the game all that more exciting. We're in the middle of the day here. It's warmed up but very windy. A cold wind, but the players will be a lot more comfortable than when we started this game. Oh, he lifts that one to left field. There's a player out there. It's Christian Artung, or Christian Artung's replacement, whoever is out there right now.
Christian Artung.
It is him.
Right.
He's still there. Takes a great catch. High fly ball lifted into left field, but it is a fly ball at the end of play. That shuts down this attack from San Diego. Jacob Christian, the 3rd out there in the top of the 6th innings, but we did go through 7 batters there that time. So a very big innings for San Diego. A breakout, in fact. They score 3 runs. So San Diego now lead Alameda by 4 runs to 1 halfway through the 6th innings. We'll be back after this short break to continue this game.
Welcome back to Blacktown as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Alameda with a little bit of work to do as they give up 3 runs in the top part of that 6th inning, and they really need to get on the offensive now with the bats in their hands.
And Connor Bell remains on the mound for San Diego. The number 27, imposing figure of number 27. Michael Shee is the lead off here for Alameda. Takes a swing on the next one. 1-1 pitch coming now. And called strike there. Gets the high side of the zone on the outside edge. Nicely located. 1 ball, 2 strikes on batter Shee. Bell has a good look in at his catches. Signals Iglesias. Pop up. Goes to shortstop. On one
well
bounce
handled.
though. Milan has to get that on the hop. Gets it across to his first baseman. Stephen Lancier at first. And they get a great out. Well handled by Hector Milan. Good footwork, good glove work. Fantastic from the 0-0. Michael Shee out on a hard hit ball, but out anyway. 6-3 play by the shortstop. Nothing regular about that. That was a great play from Milan.
Charged in to try to get it before it bounced on him, and he didn't get there and left himself with a very awkward half hop and just handled it superbly. Came up with it. a little bit, I don't know whether it was more out of luck than determination, but it was in the mitt when he came forward, and that's all he needed. He just balanced and then threw a bullet across the diamond, and that was enough to get the out. Massive out for San Diego to get that first out on Alameda before they get any momentum happening.
Great baseball all round by both sides. Kiki Aguirre at the plate now for Alameda, and they need to fight back. It's 4 runs to 1 on the scoreboard. San Diego leading Alameda. Aguirre drives that one down the third base side. Again, well gloved by Balbolia. And does he get the out at first? Oh, a bit of a tumble up there at first base. I think he tripped over the bag, did Aguirre, did he not?
He did indeed, as he was just trying to make sure that he didn't make too solid contact with Lancia. He was trying to get out of Lancia's way, and as a result tripped himself up. We've got changes in the outfield for San Diego. Complete outfield change. Jacob Christian is in left field. Anthony Inzunza is in centre field, and Louis Gracia is in right field. So a couple of changes there as Francisco Romero gets ready to swing the bat. Just withdraws it as a check swing to take a ball on the first pitch he sees. Other than that, I think the only player we didn't give you last innings was Hector Milan going in at shortstop. But Hector is certainly in there now. He fouls this one up onto the roof. You might hear it dong. No, it clears the grandstand. Often you can hear it thud into the roof right above us.
Yeah, we're well insulated here at the moment. We've got everything closed up, windows and doors. So Romero steps back in again. 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alameda trying to stage a fight back. Not working so far.
Oh, look out. Stay fair. Stay fair it does. It's got ripped into the left field corner. It goes all of 300 feet. Romero rounds first, heads to second, stands up comfortably. He absolutely ripped that into the corner. It was one hop into the wall. We're talking 320 feet out there, a full-sized international baseball diamond, and Romero one-hopped it into the wall. I thought it had a chance off the bat. Just didn't quite have the elevation. If he gets about another 15 degrees of elevation on that, that one was a chance to get out of this ballpark.
I gave him all the hope to start with when I said it's not working so far. And Romero made a lie out of that one. He's had 3 base hits in 3 plate appearances. He's got a single to 7, a single to 7, and now a double to 7. Great effort from that young man. Shamil Youngblood gets his opportunity now to move Romero around. 2 out here. It's a battle in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alameda trailing by 3 runs. Next pitch goes fastball, missing outside.
Not by much, though. That's almost on that edge that we've seen called so consistently, but just maybe a ball width too wide.
2-0 pitch for Youngblood now. In the zone, he drives it on the ground, splits first and second baseman, gets it out on the ground to a right field. So a single to 9 for Shamil Youngblood. Nice hitting.
Hit it
and
too well.
In behind the runner as well.
He hit it too well, though. If he takes a little bit off that and just rolls it out there, slow rolls it out there, maybe Romero could turn and score, but he absolutely blasted it through the hole between first and second, and it was out at Louis Gracia, the right fielder, in a flash. Straight along the ground, no danger of ever getting out caught, but it was out there in a flash, and Gracia had it back into his second baseman, Larrabee, in almost as equal time as Romero was getting to the bag. So Romero, no chance to turn and score, but runners in the corners with 2 out. A massive chance now for Alameda to at least get 1 back here in the bottom of the 6th.
On the corners, 2 out, goes fastball outside, Bell, and misses. So just a ball.
Belayan with the job to keep the inning going and score at least 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Alameda put Youngblood in motion here on one of these pitches. He's certainly quick enough to steal second base. I know there's 2 out and you really don't like to be the 3rd out on the bases, but if he could get to second base and then Belayan finds a base hit, that's a called strike. With the speed that Youngblood possesses, a base hit scores 2.
Yeah, Bell just have a pick-off attempt there at Youngblood, just reminding him that he is there. He has got his eyes on him.
So 1-1 now. Belayan at the mound. Again, they go to Youngblood to keep him close.
A warning shot.
They've just got to make sure that he doesn't get too big a lead because he only needs half an invitation. and he'll steal that 90 foot in 4 seconds on you, and you'll be looking at runners at second and third. Bell to the plate on this occasion. There goes Youngblood. It's lifted out into centre field. Should be a play for Inzunza out there. He's got to deal with the wind. He goes up high and jumps up and takes it above his head in the end. The wind carried it a bit on him as well. So the wind's certainly carrying them here at Blacktown this afternoon, but Inzunza gets the job done and gets a big third out for San Diego here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Alameda can't add anything to their total, and after 6 completed innings here at Blacktown International Sports Park, Alameda trails San Diego by 4 runs to 1.
And welcome back to the top of the 7th inning here at Blacktown International Sports Park, Sydney, Australia. And we go to the top of the 7th. Leading off for San Diego in this top half is Jacob Savoy, just coming into the game, the number 4, replacing Joseph Iglesias. And probably will come out and catch when they change over for the bottom half of the inning. So Jacob Savoy takes a swing and a miss at that first pitch, and his third base coach calls him straight up to have a chat with him, and must have been something to do with signals there. He took a hard swing. There's nobody on base, obviously. He's the leadoff.
I believe it hit the catcher's mask,
okay.
and he's just a little bit...
They're just giving him a bit of time.
Yeah.
He might have been all shook up.
Yeah, I think he was a little shaken up.
A little bit of Elvis Presley in that one.
Always a little bit doubtful when you get one right in your face mask. You're thankful to have it.
Ground ball, shortstop Michael Shee. He gloves that, gets it across the diamond. A good out there, Ryan Shimabakaru, and he gets that out on the 6-3 play. 1 up, 1 down. Jacob Savoy, the first out, leading off for San Diego. So regulation ground ball to shortstop at the end of play. And now we go to the second batter, the 9th batter in order in the lineup for San Diego, Sinjon Balbolia, and he fouls off the first pitch. I can tell you, Kiki Aguirre on the mound is not mucking around. Once the batter steps into that box and glances up at him, he's ready to let go of that fastball.
And so he's entitled to.
He wants to get on with it. As soon as he addresses the batter, he's ready to let it rip. Curves that one up just a little bit, leaves it hanging. It gets through third baseman Francisco Romero and goes to the outfield to Christian Artung, who gets that one. So now it's San Diego with a runner at first base, single to 7 on the left field side, Sinjon Balbolia. So 1 out, 1 on, and we go back to the top of the order through the 0-0 Hector Milan.
The Alameda cannot afford to allow any more runs. 3 in the bottom of 1 inning is going to be tough enough as it is, but you get it out to 4 or 5 and that's near impossible.
Yep, San Diego will look to extend this lead, build that little bit of insurance between their scoreline and the scoreline of Alameda. Alameda, of course, has that opportunity of batting in the bottom of the inning, so they do have an opportunity to catch up if their bats are good for it. So Milan readies himself again, digs in at home plate. Misses a fastball high side of the zone from Aguirre. Tall guy, isn't he? Kiki Aguirre. Good build for a pitcher.
Certainly is for a young lad. Very tall.
Fouled off again by Milan. This could be a good battle at home plate. Two balls, two strikes indicated by the plate umpire. Runner at first is Balbolia. Aguirre ready now to go. Fouled off by Milan over the first base fence. Down the line, it's all about timing right now. What does Aguirre offer up in conjunction with his catcher, Derek Balayan? Pops up on the infield, going back on its second baseman. Mac Woodworth is it out there who takes a fantastic catch.
Yeah, it's still Mac out there and never easy when they're popped up into this breeze. You saw the last couple of seconds of the flight of that ball. He had to adjust about 3 or 4 steps to make sure he was in perfect position. And he was. Nice catch from Mac Woodworth. And that'll make the family back home happy to see Mac grab that one.
Pick-off attempt. Not only is the wind playing havoc out there with these players, it's also the sunshine now. It is at its highest point in the sky for this time of day. So they've got the wind and the sun to contend with on the infield and outfield.
And as the diamond sits, it sort of sits between third base and home plate, the sun. So the right side of the fielders, the right side of the diamond fielders, they'll be most affected by the sun.
Gracia lifts that one into centre field. Shamil Youngblood charges in for it. They cannot get to it. Youngblood can't get there. He got on his bike very early, as did Christian Artung from left field and shortstop Michael Shee, all heading for it, but it just dropped, as you call it.
The Bermuda Triangle between the 3 fielders going for it. Left field, centre field, shortstop, all trying to get to it, and it just finds that spot right in the middle of all 3 of them to nestle itself down onto the grass.
The dying swan just drops there. Luis Gracia stands at first base with a single to centre field. And this other one, a bunt now, down the first base side. Retrieved by catcher Balay, and he throws it up to his first baseman, and they get the all-important third out.
That was a very good play from Balay, and he actually barehanded it. He didn't even bother with the glove because he didn't have time. He just ran around it, barehanded it. Always a worry as to whether you're going to fumble it when you try to barehand it like that, but he got it in the middle, got it up to his first baseman for a very important third out for the Alameda team.
Yeah, again, I wondered about the short game right there with the runners at first and second.
That was a power bunt.
That
was a full-blooded swing.
I missed the swing.
Yeah, that was a full-blooded swing off the end of the bat that went down, hit home plate, and just bounced away towards first base.
My bad.
So bottom of the 7th coming up, the last chance saloon for Alameda to try and find some runs to get back into this one. We'll bring it to you right after this little short break. Welcome back here to Blacktown International Sports Park, the bottom of the 7th inning. Alameda all to do in front of them, and Jack DeShinger will get the call up to come to the plate for Alameda. Swings at the first pitch he sees. It's flaring into the right centre field gap. It will drop in for a base hit. So DeShinger will jump in there. He was taken out of the game earlier, but now comes back in to hit, which is quite allowed under the rules. He was pitching there for a while. Came out of the game, but he holds his position to hit. And he finds a base hit to right field to lead things off in the bottom of the 2nd for Alameda. They trail by 3 runs. They've got to find 3 here in the bottom of the 7th to stay alive.
That was a single to centre field at the end of that play. And at the plate now it is Corey Chikachi.
Yep, he comes back in to hit again.
Yeah, his previous slot was batted by Michael Prophet. So Corey Chikachi back in as a re-entry.
Chikachi waits and swings through that one. Big swing. Didn't leave anything behind on that one. Did Corey, and he couldn't catch up, unfortunately. 1 ball, 1 strike. Would have been interesting to see where that had gone if he'd have made solid contact.
A long way.
Jacob Savoy doing the pitching now for San Diego, trying to close this one out. This one lifted into right field. It should be a play up there for Garcia. There is. He will make the catch.
Fly ball, position 9, 1 out, 1 on base.
And that is 1 gone for Alameda here in the bottom of the 7th. One of their 3 chances. They've got a change here in the batting lineup. 21 is not Mac Woodworth. 21 is Jeff Hodge.
Well, there we go.
So Jeff Hodge steps in. It certainly wasn't Mac Woodworth. He's a whippet build, as we say here. It's all all skin and bones and runs like the wind. But that wasn't him coming to the plate. It was Jeff Hodge.
The San Diego crowd is starting to get a little bit excited.
They're feeling it, aren't they? They're
Yes, they
feeling
are.
that 3 runs is enough now, even with the Shinger on first base. Hodge allows that one to pass. Called strike. He's in the hole, 0-2. Hodge with a big job to do here to keep this inning going. Not give up the second as the baseball comes over from the other diamond, I believe.
A foul ball.
It's going to be cleaned up out there by Jacob Christian, and might have come from batting practice. Looks like the Koreans are already down on that down that left field bullpen area, and the hitting tunnels down on that left side. So it might have escaped out of there somehow.
Oh, that or somebody just souvenir to baseball. Good luck to them.
Should have got some specially stamped balls, for the tournament. This one hacked foul down the first base side, out of play. Hodge doing a good thing to stay alive.
I'm sure both the Korean and the Japanese teams have been warming up for the past hour and a half.
Oh, they'll be tired by the time 3 o'clock gets here. They might want to start early. They'll have to wait till 3. It's already 20-2.
Next pitch misses low. So Hodge doing well, staying alive, hanging in there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner at first. 3 runs the difference. One pitch on its way. It's lined towards right field. It'll get by Larrabee and it will get out into right field. And so a base hit for Jeff Hodge moves DeShinger to second base. And the tying run heads to the plate for Alameda. That's going to bring Dave Lewis to the mound. Dave going to head out and have a chat to Jacob Savoy. In fact, he might be going to take the ball off him. Yes, he is. I know he's getting his infield together. He's just going to have a what we call here a little bit of a powwow. Just get them all on the same page as to exactly what he wants them to do in this situation.
Protect that lead.
I know what I'd be telling them to do. Turn a double play. Let's get in and celebrate third.
Yeah, get Jacob Savoy. Just get a ground ball out of this.
Keep it low in the zone to Artung, will you please? Keep it as low in the zone as you can, but throw him strikes still. And when he rolls one up the middle, Shea or Hector, you guys work your double play magic.
Artung's been up 3 times. He's struck out looking twice, and he's had a walk on the other occasion. Strikeout, walk, strikeout.
So ready to face Savoy now, and he does get that double play ball. It goes to Milan. Milan to Larrabee. Larrabee to Bell, and there's the double play, just as the coach instructed, and the ball game is over. San Diego will take third place in the 2018 World Boys Tournament. They will beat Alameda in the third place playoff by 4 runs to 1, and it will be the double play ball at the end of the game that will do it for San Diego.
Yeah, outstanding game from both clubs there. What an arm wrestle. A 3-run ball game at the end of it, but what a very closely fought battle. And in what great spirit these two guys from the west coast of the USA have had an epic game. And through that full 7 innings, it was always there. It was always an opportunity. Alameda, even in that bottom of the 7th, created their own opportunity, but couldn't quite get through it. A game of inches, well won by San Diego, and a good scoreline as well. And what a wonderful day of baseball we've seen here so far through both games. And it's going to get more exciting when Japan and Korea face off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's in about 1 hour and a quarter. We're going to go off air, take a nice break, get ourselves ready, and we'll probably come on air about 10 minutes to 3, so just over an hour's time. Tell your friends, tell your family, tune in to the Sports Broadcasting Australia link and listen to the Summer of Baseball broadcast of the Gold Medal Championship game between Korea and Japan in the 2018 World Boys Tournament. Back soon.